Hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk about the fallout of the Open Gaming License leak. The news around the Open Gaming License story has been fast-paced and fast-moving. It's changing from hour to hour, and a lot of people are weighing in on what is being said. So I hope that we can take a closer look at some of what people are saying. Well, Ian Runkle the Bailey, is a fellow YouTuber. Someone I know. He's helped call out things for the channel. He helped us raise a ton of money for Extra Life. He was in the process of actually doing a D&D style adventure with his YouTube channel and other lawyers. However, with the new stuff for OLG, he's saying no. I'm not risking being sued by Wizards of the Coast. So until further notice, Roll of the Law will not be putting out content for D&D games. This kiboshes several videos I had planned, but it's clear that Wizards does not want its fans. Instead, I'll be suggesting other games to play and trying to run more varied systems. Why no D&D? The new Open Gaming License makes it entirely possible to get sued for making YouTube content. But this also means that Wizards of the Coast is not a company to support in any way. Wizards of the Coast, Delentia EST. I'm guessing that's lawyer speak. Shouldn't they want people to make content and to get people interested? They've decided that the player base are all fat little golden geese to be cut open for eggs, and this is what we're seeing. We saw this with Magic 30 with the debacle that went through there. We're seeing this with the overproduction, oversaturation of Magic the Gathering cards on the market. We are seeing the company and Hasbro completely burn anything that was built with the player base. I don't know where this is going to land. From my understanding, a lot of the Hasbro stock is starting to increase from all of this stuff. So to me, something seems off. I've also seen a few examples of people or publishers saying, we're done. We're throwing in the towel. We're walking away. Pulp Comic Press, they are a publisher, just spoke to a trademark copyright attorney, and Wizards of the Coast has a strong argument. That likely means the Open Gaming License publishing is dead if they go through with this, which they will. And this means Pulp Comic will not be publishing anything under Open Gaming License going forward. That's so they're publishing, they're putting stuff out there, probably through Drive-Thru RPG, and they're saying, nope, we're done. Well, where does this all land? What is actually the talk of the OLG? There is a good little thread here from Trent Monk. I tend towards skepticism generally, but we're starting to get multiple testimonies that this is part of the upcoming Open Gaming License 1.1. I'm hoping the rumors are not correct, but if they are, then this is awful. Section 8, termination. This agreement may be modified or terminated. A modification. This agreement is, along with the OLG commercial, updated to the previous available OLG 1.0A, which is no longer an authorized licensed agreement. We can modify or terminate this agreement for any reason whatsoever, provided we give 30 days notice. We will provide notice of such changes by posting revisions on our website and making public announcements of the changes through our social media channels. How do I agree to the OGL commercial? Anyone publishing content under the commercial license will need to register that content with us by creating an account at dndbeyond.com, which was recently picked up by Wizards of the Coast, providing us with identifying information such as the name of the person or entity creating the work, the title of the new work, a summary of the work, and once the work is available to others, a copy of the work. So not only do you have to register, then you have to give a copy to Wizards of the Coast. When you complete the registration, you will be confirming your agreement to the terms of the OGL license. What if I don't like these terms and don't agree to the OGL commercial? That's fine. It just means you cannot earn income from any SRD-based D&D content you create on or after January 13th, 2020. 2023. You will need to either operate under the OGL non-commercial or strike a discussion direct deal with Wizards of the Coast for your project. But if you want to publish SRD-based content on or after January 13, 2023 and commercialize it, your only opinion is to agree, or your only option is to agree to the OGL commercial. Going into this a little bit further, Noah Downs, I believe is a intellectual lawyer. So he went into a full article going over the details of this situation. 1.1 is not an open license, although Wizards of the Coast tries to claim it is. It's a severely restrictive set of licenses into commercial and non-commercial that grant Wizards of the Coast broad rights on the works of third-party creators and requires incredibly high royalty percentages. I'm seeing up to 25% of your earnings may go to Wizards of the Coast if they don't just take your works in the first place. It's really ridiculous. Who does this affect? Why should I care? OLG 1.1 affects companies, creators, and fans alike. Virtual tabletops will be unable to host D&D content and modules at all. That includes putting up a live stream where you are playing the game, which will only be available on Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds. Third-party creators such as Griffin, Saddlebags, DM Dave, Loot Tavern, and Mage Hand Press are also subject to those fees. But in addition, risk losing control of the work they make to Wizards of the Coast. D&D-based Kickstarters will also be subject to royalty, making them all but infeasible. So if your Kickstarter, say, raises $750,000, 25% of that right off the top, well, they have some special deal with Kickstarter where it's only 20% off the top goes directly to Wizards of the Coast, not to the creator. So that really hampers anything that could be done in that sense. This is also going to affect things like there was the D&D, play D&D on a cruise or play D&D in a castle. Those large events could be hit and struck by this because this is the $750,000 is a gross income, not a net income. So if if you are holding a large scale event, a giant event, that giant event could be subject to this. If it becomes like $1 million event, Wizards of the Coast has to have a hand in it. And that's where things get a little bit more dicey because look at Critical Role. Look at some of these plays that are out there. You go on Broad Street and maybe someone's put up a play. You have people that do ab lib and sketch comedy for Dungeons and Dragons, and if that was to take off and get huge, once again, Wizards of the Coast with the open gaming license, the revision that they're doing here will strike it down. I'm a third-party creator. Should I sign it? I cannot tell you whether to accept it or not, but I can supply you with the information. Any third-party creator that signs it will be bound by the terms as currently written, subsequently updated. Agreeing to it means you have to 1, report your works to the company, 2, report your revenue, and 3, pay a 25% royalty if it hits the threshold. 3, you will own your own content and works and can distribute them in certain places. However, Wizards of the Coast receives a perpetual, irrevocable right to use your works and allow others to use your work without additional payments to you. This would allow Wizards of the Coast to publish these works in places you would not be allowed to, and to allow others to do the same. They could also take your works and then distribute it for free, completely ruining any possible market space you could have for making this content. That's anybody that makes this content. That's not, you have to hit the threshold. That's anybody. So if you're using right now, there is a lawsuit right now that is going back and forth, and it's over a mark that was original TSR. It's been picked up by Wizards when they bought TSR, and now another version of TSR is trying to claim that mark as theirs. They actually went and put it into the Trademark Patent Office, but it's been used by Wizards of the Coast the entire time. So Wizards of the Coast then defaults to the copyright. They own the copyright for it, not this other person. And it's still going through. In that litigation that's going on, the rule set, a new version of Star Frontiers they tried to push to market, which and they've said they didn't do it, even though they've gone back and forth on it a few times. That set of rules for Star Frontiers would fall under this open gaming license. Now, Wizards of the Coast is saying we can just take it if we want it. I believe that lawsuit is starting to have a full effect. Now, at the same time, Hasbro is down. They're looking to gather as much money as possible from everyone that wants to play this game, and it's going to look very differently here in 2023. Now, that article and thread, quite good to go there. I believe he's also answering questions if you respond to him on Twitter. So if there's some more stuff that you've got questions for, seek out that Twitter posting and that article. I will try and link the article in a pinned comment down below. Another thing that has come out of all of this situation is the censorship and the suppression of this leak. In a magical, almost insane twist of fate, the official D&D Discord has banned any and all discussion of the OGL. Something that's happened in the past with anything done with Wizards of the Coast. Cards get leaked for Magic the Gathering all the time. There's a giant leak for their newest set that's coming out right now. And generally, at one point, these leaks and spoilers used to get taken down immediately by mods, and it's gotten so much they can't even keep up with taking the post down. So they just said, forget it. They get leaked, it gets leaked. There's no stopping it. Once it's out there on the internet, it's forever, and that is what's going on here. So from the support moderation team in the Discord, discussion of the alleged leaked copy of the OGL 1.1 violates one of two sets of the server rules. Goes off one, it being fake and not real, then it's misinformation and therefore trolling. But if it's legitimate, then it's been deemed as a leak and illegally acquired, which is not true because that's what whistleblower laws are for. It went through a article and media and pushed out there. This is the same sort of scenario we're seeing all over Twitter where things got leaked and now getting suppressed. So now the same thing's happening within Wizards of the Coast own official channels of discussion. Things are getting suppressed and put down and say it's trolling and not real. This is an ongoing issue that we are seeing on a day-to-day basis. Also, in the Critical Role subreddit, which they've worked with Wizards of the Coast in the past, they've had Wizards of the Coast official books come out, they have also blocked discussion of this situation. Critical Role has a lot to lose here, and they have a business relationship with Wizards of the Coast, so I wouldn't be surprised for them knocking this down, but you're seeing this go down in a lot of other places. The rules lawyer is also putting up a lot of content on this. Go check him out. Critical Role isn't separate from what's going on right now in the OGL 1.1. Critical Role has bargaining power, and Wizards of the Coast is delaying 1.1 for a reason. Critical Role must say they won't negotiate when 1.1 isn't even out. A separate license leaves others out to dry and concedes the principle of the open D&D. And this is ongoing. This is what's going to keep going until the announcement from Hasbro comes out of this situation. Well, where does it go from here? The open gaming license is up for grabs. Wizards of the Coast is making every move for it, and I think part of it is possibly what's come out of the legal case that's been going through the courts very slowly. That is supposed to be settled in October, and when that does get settled, I'm keeping an eye on it in the background. It's something that's always been there in the background, but it's something I haven't been covering as much because it's just a debacle and it's ingrating into itself. Wizards of the Coast, they, from my understanding, have all the right to do this, and it's ruffled the feathers. It's created a divide, not even a divide. It's created a situation where everyone that wants to make content that's anything to do with role-playing and a fantasy setting might get wrapped up into this. This is like Google sitting there with everything on board and the search engine, and they get to control what you see in that search engine. Now Wizards of the Control want to take everything here, and anytime you look at anything that has to do with a fantasy setting or anything that's doing with role-playing games, they want that control. And I think that's where the stakes of this might be going. Anyway, guys, I'm your proud Canadian Phoenix, Cineshadow, signing off here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you can, share this out. And I don't ask it enough, if you made it this far in the video, please think about possibly supporting the channel through the Patreon or the memberships, or even if you guys want to get your comments highlighted in the comment section down below, you can tip that way as well. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to have a great day, and I will see you all next time.